Now, you might be wondering, he was shooting bush, country, water, riverside. I had intended on shooting this part in that same area, but when I finished doing the time lapses, I set the camera up on a table, lined it all up, got ready to shoot and film the bit I wanted to film, and because it was in a park, probably should have expected it, but some kids popped up around the corner and started playing quite loudly, and I didn't want that in the background, so I picked here, where there's nothing but, well, nothing. There's nothing here. I want to talk about some deep and meaningful, heavy stuff, and I want to do it for a couple of reasons. One, because I'm still honestly pretty sad about Chester Bennington's suicide, and two, I'm not one to shy away from mental health, and I think people are shied away from it and don't want to talk about it is because they're afraid of judgment. The first distinction I think people are missing when they consider mental health is the difference between subjectivity and objectivity. A subjectivity is the way you experience things, and the way you experience something is completely different to the way I experience something. And likewise, it's completely different to the way that fella experienced something. Objectivity is saying that the colour blue is blue. Okay? Everyone sees it that way, within reason. Of course, not absolutely everybody sees it that way, but objectivity is saying, like, in general, something is something. A lot of the things I've seen in response to Chester's passing and in response to a lot of things to do with suicide and mental health and depression and things like that is people saying words along the lines of, or to the effect of, I've been through this before and I didn't kill myself, or I'm not depressed, or my life's harder, or my life's this or that, and making a judgment saying, well, if they got through it, anyone could, so why couldn't the person who we're talking about? And this, I'm going to get attacked by pigeons. This is the point I want to make. Mental health is entirely subjective. The things that make you sad may be completely different to somebody else. There may be other people that feel degrees of sadness, or even perhaps the same level of sadness and the same way of sadness about certain things to me, but that doesn't mean we're the same. Okay? In Chester's case, I'm going to use his case purely because a lot of it's become common knowledge now through the media, right? He was sexually abused as a child. There's a lot of people who are saying, I got over my sexual abuse, he's a coward for killing himself. Or equally as horrible a thing to say is he's got 6 kids, he's a coward for leaving them behind. And there's people saying, oh, everything was going well, it's on top of the world, he was going to go on tour in Australia and all this sort of stuff. Or world tour, sorry, not just Australia. And this is my point. So, to all those people who are saying he should have been happy he's on top of the world, okay, being on top of the world would have made you happy. That doesn't mean it would have made him happy, and obviously it didn't. And there's tons of examples of people who don't think other people's suffering or other people's depressions are legitimate because they've been through, or they've known someone who's been through it and they haven't suffered as much. Depression and mental health generally is something that is specific to the sufferer. It is subjective. It is not objective. There may be objective symptoms and things like that and way to diagnose depression and stuff, but the experience of it, the heaviness, if you like, or the way it's felt by the sufferer is completely unique to them. I want people who are out there, if you're one of those people who thinks, who has ever thought that their suffering delegitimizes, if that's a word, or takes away from, subtracts from somebody else's suffering because they've experienced a similar thing, you're wrong. You're flat out wrong. Suffering, depression is completely subjective. Because there are so many people in the community who are judgmental of personal experiences of depression, of mental health and things like that, and there's such an incredible stigma attached to it, people are worried about sharing it. People are worried about talking it. For I don't know, probably 4 days, 5 days or something, was wrestling with how to talk about Chester's passing, because it's the first time like a superstar's ever passed away that I felt genuinely sad about it, like genuinely sad, and that seemed ridiculous to me, absolutely ridiculous. Like, I didn't know him, so I was worried that a lot of people were gonna come out and say like, oh, you didn't know him, how dare you feel bad, and that sort of stuff, or you shouldn't feel bad, he's just some stranger to you. But then I started thinking about this subjectivity thing, and I realised, you know what? I don't really care if anyone thinks it's legitimate or not for me to feel bad about it. I felt bad. I felt terrible. I felt absolutely gut-wrenchingly horrible. The last time I felt that bad about somebody passing away, it was... anyway, so here I am admitting that I was sad about Chester passing away. That's the second point I want to talk about, and I'm no longer afraid of anyone else's opinions or judgments on the matter, because it's completely subjective. And I want anyone who's scared of judgment or things like that to chat to me. I'm on Instagram. In my bio it says my DMs are open for this very cause. If you just want a pair of ears, figuratively, because obviously you're typing to me, then I'm more than happy to do that. I want everyone who sees this video, even if it is just my family, which make up the bulk of my viewership, or if you're someone who's never seen any of my content before, please challenge the idea that mental health is something that can be judged. Challenge the idea that mental health is something that can be judged objectively. Challenge the opinion that it's not okay to talk about it. It is, as far as I'm concerned, one of the single greatest blights on our society today. Think about it. I suppose the third and final thing I wanted to talk about, those people don't like that I'm filming. They keep looking at me funny.
Were the signs I ignored? Can I help you not to hurt anymore?